I hate to sound like I'm criticizing Tesla because I do own their stock and I do like their cars. The only thing I've noticed is that in the last couple of days, there's been a lot of, There's been a lot of stories talking about the hidden costs and the true cost of ownership. And I've seen at least two of those stories. As you can see over here, somebody just lost to me by a checkmate. Good for them. So anyway, there was a video which I'm not going to watch it, so this way I won't get like censored or anything, because you know how YouTube they go after you if you feature somebody else's video. But anyway, some woman at Yahoo, she went to check out the cost of actually getting a Tesla Model S and realized that these things aren't really cheap. These things cost considerably more than $70,000. Now, the newest one that they released is called the P70D, and that's the one that she looked at. Now, also what's interesting is she looked at it in the Short Hills Mall, which is actually close by where I live, because I live, New York City, and I have another place in Jersey. And I'll be going probably to one of these places to consider a Model X, because the thing about it is the business leases on these cars are pretty good. You don't really finance this stuff. You actually lease these things, because the problem is the technology keeps on improving. I mean, if you really think about it, in 2012 they had the P85D, and only like a year or two later they're issuing out the no, not the P85. They had the P85 in 2012. Then they had the P85D less than 3 years later. And then less than a year later, they got the P90D. So, in my opinion, these are cars that you lease, you don't finance. And I've noticed that there's a lot of these cars coming back off of lease due to the, 2 and 3 and 4 year leases. So basically, I took a closer look at a P70D. And, I want to do more of my videos in 4K. Tomorrow is my iPhone 6s release date, and I have to drive up and go get them all. And 2 of them are going on eBay. I'll be selling them. In fact, I already got the bids going. But I want to do my videos in 4K instead of 1080p. So I think I've been saying this on some of the other videos that I did, like the one on the Volvo. I'm not really going to do too much video in 1080p. I want to do a 4K video of the P90D or the Model X, whichever one comes first. This is a Model S, and as you can see, it's a Model S P70D. You hear the moon roof, this, that, and other. There's a car wash right here, so we can actually wash the car. But this is a 70D. And the 70D, the reason why they made this is because they wanted to offer all-wheel drive without the extra expense of the higher performance motor performance model. So the 70D gets you max mileage of about 250 miles. 250 miles about. Now, granted, if you're using the AC, that can change because air conditioning takes away mileage or electricity. And max range is about 250. You can hypermile it. You can drive slower. You don't have to push it to the max. And basically, I've made a video about this charging station a while ago. This is the Tesla charging station at John F. Kennedy Airport. In fact, if you look up there, you can actually see the airplane still coming in. There's an airplane right there if you look closely. And this is, again, one of the few videos that I'm going to be making before I get my iPhone 6s and I start uploading stuff in 4K. And I think one of the first things I'm going to do is I'm going to make a video of 4K versus 1080p, just so you can see the difference, because the frame rate is different. One's 30 frames per second and the other one's 60 frames per second for the 1080p. But, not a lot has changed. The car is still gorgeous. This one's got the roof and everything. It looks fantastic. Hey, look, the plane. That's John F. Kennedy for you. So anyway, not a lot has changed. It's still a great looking car, but now you get all-wheel drive and you don't pay a whole lot of money for it. You're still going to pay close to $90,000 when you add in like the moon roof and the navigation system and everything. But that's what you're looking at with a 70D. So basically, you start a Tesla, there's no sound, there's no engine, and then it just drives away. Isn't that cool? And this is a 70D going through the car wash. Why not? Hope that electricity doesn't interfere with that water, huh?